Hi, so in this last video from our unit, Business and the Environment, I'll be just talking about some of the most important takeaway points from the discussion case, hydraulic fracturing, can the environmental impacts be reduced? So fracking, you've probably heard about this. It's a contentious issue in American politics, as we'll see in this case. I've provided here links to two sort of competing sides if you want some more background information on fracking. So the first from the Independent Petroleum Association of America, business association, which is taking a more positive view of fracking. And then the Natural Resources Defense Council, or NRDC, an environmental NGO that takes a more concerned or critical take on fracking. So here's some two links to read a little bit more from different perspectives. So what is fracking? It is a method of extracting crude oil and natural gas from vast underground shale formations. So this is oil and natural gas that's trapped in rock deep beneath the surface of the earth. Water, sand, and chemicals are pumped down a deep vertical well at high pressure to break up the shale and release the oil and or gas. So water and sand, chemicals pumped down into these areas where the oil and gas are. The rock is broken up, and that allows the oil and gas to come to the surface. So there are costs and benefits associated with fracking. The fracking boom has created a lot of jobs, a lot of tax revenue for state and federal government, and also royalties to the property owners who lease their mineral rights. So the people who own the land under which these deposits exist are also benefited. Nevertheless, there are a variety of different concerns, many of which related to the environmental impact of fracking. The process contributes to water supply depletion, so this requires a huge amount of water, and that is taxing, considering we have in many parts of the country issues with managing our water supply already. Water contamination, so this has to do with local sources of water that may be nearby that could be contaminated by the process. Also potentially toxic chemicals that are used that may find themselves in wastewater, local rivers and streams and so on. So that's a concern as well, water contamination. And then finally, air pollution. There's methane gas and other things that come out of these rock formations that can be harmful to people that live nearby. So you can read more about some of these issues in the case study, but also in the information provided from the NRDC. So does government need to step in here? There's disagreement about this. So the Obama administration imposed new rules on fracking, requiring companies to disclose the chemicals that they use, and also to follow strict guidelines for the storage and disposal of wastewater. And then the Trump administration in 2017 turned around and canceled those rules. So we see there's quite a lot of debate about what to do. Individual states have also created their own policies. In Vermont, New York, and Maryland, fracking has been banned outright. In California, fracking is allowed, but companies that are engaging in fracking have to adhere to strict monitoring requirements for groundwater and air quality near the wells. Okay, so a whole range of different responses to this issue from policymakers. Companies, meanwhile, are not just sitting by idly waiting to see how government sorts this out. And that's a very interesting point for us as we look at these issues from the perspective of business. We see companies that are using this as an opportunity, or taking advantage of this opportunity to perhaps gain a competitive advantage over others, experimenting with technologies to reduce the environmental impact of fracking, to become more efficient and less damaging to the natural world. Okay, so we see here in this case a variety of different themes from our unit on business and the environment, different things that government can do, trying to set minimum standards and enforce compliance with those standards, also trying to encourage companies to go above and beyond what's legally required, for example, by disclosing certain things about what they're doing. And then also businesses taking the initiative themselves and going above and beyond what's legally required in many cases in order to address environmental concerns because they are perhaps seeing that this is an issue that's not going to go away. The controversy isn't going away, so it doesn't matter if states are saying, oh, we're not going to regulate you at all. If they know that citizens are concerned, nearby residents are concerned, or investors might be concerned, etc., then they're going to take steps to address these issues as well. And so that's what we're seeing. So this really comes from the costs and the benefits of fracking, and we see how different actors respond. Hopefully this illustrates some of the concepts from the unit.